time. When did you get started shooting air guns?
Well, that's actually pretty interesting. I was probably the age of 4 or 5, which puts it back in the early 80s, in a town called Eugene, Oregon, with my grandfather's Benjamin Sheraton pump air rifle.
Been around for a long time.
Shooting a 177, and we'd go out in the back part of his property and hunt rabbits for dinner.
I would say I wasn't that young when I was shooting, so you started long before I did.
Well, he wouldn't let us go out with the regular 22 or a shotgun.
Right.
He said, first of all, you got to learn to shoot. A shotgun was cheating.
Right.
So my grandfather set us down, and along with my father, and taught us how to shoot guns. And he did it by breaking out his old Benjamin Sheraton, and we'd go out and practice for hours on end.
Okay.
And once we got good enough to go take down rabbits, and we showed them that we could hunt with the best of them,
Right.
then we would earn the right to go and upgrade to like the 22 or a shotgun. But I found it so much fun to hunt and cheaper to hunt
Right.
with the air rifle. I stuck with it through the years.
You know, that's the way it should be. Most kids should start out with an air rifle.
Yes.
You know, it builds their skill. I mean, obviously, they started out with a shotgun. So your father did it right.
Yes. I think they brought me along the right way. It was part of a rite of passage. It was part of the respect for the firearm, the respect for the weapon. It was part of growing up in a certain time where, hey, you know what? Here's the air rifle. Here's some pellets. Go get dinner.
Right.
And we'd go out through the backwoods of Oregon
Okay.
and go hunting. And there was nothing greater than being able to come home with food.
Right.
And Grandma and Grandpa would cook it up. Dad would make some food. We'd all sit down, have a family meal. And then as we got older, my brothers were all breaking out the shotguns. And it was kind of like, well, it took you a 12 gauge to get that rabbit. I still get them with a pellet gun.
Bragging rights.
It was all about bragging rights at that point.
Right.
I was like, I had to learn to oil it, rebuild it, make sure all the seals were good. I mean,
Okay, so you've actually taken them apart.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's great.
It's just like with the regular firearm. If you're not taking it apart and not caring for it, things go bad.
Right.
So I would sit down for hours in my grandfather's wood shop and learn how to take apart something, redo the seals, oil everything, and reassemble it properly. I've shot just about every air rifle imaginable. Granted, I have a huge collection of regular firearms and rifles.
Okay.
But in certain situations, I'm not going to shoot my Barrett 338 Lapua in my backyard.
Right.
I mean, it'd be amusing, but the odds of me going to jail would be great.
Right.
So, like,
I know how you feel.
in my vehicle at all times, I have the Kamita Indian.
Okay.
I carry the little pellet pistol everywhere I go. I've had the RWS brake barrels. I've tried to shoot the Gamos. I've shot the Beemans. I mean, the Marauders. I have a whole room dedicated at my house to air rifles. Just like I have a whole room dedicated to regular firearms at my house. It's something that I can bring my buddies' kids over.
Right.
And we can sit in the backyard. I can teach them to shoot.
Right.
I can help my buddies can teach their kids to shoot in my backyard.
Okay.
It's something that I got to grow up with, that I believe that my friends and their families should grow up with also.
Oh, right. I mean, it's the the best introduction to shooting that there is.
I got 4 and 5-year-olds that are out shooting their parents in my backyard. We set up our targets, moving targets, the dual targets that spin. You got to race each other. And a lot of times these kids are out shooting their parents right now.
Nice.
And it's fun, and I get enjoyment about something. It takes me back to a time where I got to sit down with my dad and my grandpa and his friends and shoot air guns. And now I get to watch a newer generation do the same thing.
Right.